Now we're moving on to talk about unlocking unemployment opportunities and addressing the unemployment rate in Nigeria. What are those opportunities that Nigerians can unlock just so that we do not have dire statistics? Well, we have in the studio Akin Akinbisola, Youth Employ and Development Initiative CEO. Thank you so much for being part of the program.
Thank you for having me.
Good morning.
Welcome once more to Asa Morning.
Thank you.
Okay, good. So before the break, with our first guest, we're talking about the worrisome, some people believe is almost fake prediction that we have a 4.1 unemployment rate. Now, if you're looking at the statistics or the reality on ground, we will say that it might be almost as high as 40% unemployment rate in Nigeria. So the figures doesn't really reflect the reality of it. But any figure you're playing around with, the truth is that there is a dire need to create more employment for Nigerian youths. Not even Nigerian youths. They are old people who have been looking for jobs for 20 years that they stay looking for in their youth. They are now old and they are still looking for that job. But there's a need to create employment. Yeah? And of course, our guest had talked about drivers, that we need certain drivers to create employment. You are already an employer of labor and you started being a CEO even from a very early age. So how can we as a country be looking at, unlocking the employment opportunities? Nigeria has a large population, which is very good in terms of employment. But that same large population is what is crunching us, and we don't have jobs or jobs for people to do. Let's hear your thoughts. You're the expert.
Thank you. Thank you once again. I'm going to say this. The statistic we just, that was like flying everywhere, there's been a lot of feedback from people. There's one thing to have the statistics. There's one thing to have what is actually happening in the real world. So sometimes some of these things are not really the way they seem to be. And because if we look at the, we have over 200 million populations in Nigeria, and we have the unemployment rate among young people in Nigeria is over 53%.
That's your statistics.
So according to research, right, it's over about 53% of unemployment rate. That means that more than half of our youth in Nigeria are unemployed, right? And if we're going to look at that, if we're going to look at what we have, what we are hearing from the statistics and what we have on ground, there's a disparity. It's not aligning. So we need to now go back to our drawing board and begin to look, just like you said, begin to look at how we can begin to create these job opportunities, employment opportunities for our young people. And if you ask me, right, before I came into the studio, I went to where it's called the center of Nigeria, somewhere around there. And I begin to see enormous opportunities that we have in this country. Nigeria is not supposed to be a broke country. Nigeria is not supposed to have the range or the percentage of unemployment rate that we have currently. Because if we begin to tap into the right things, right, we'll be able to create more employment opportunities. For instance, if I'm going to talk about, just look at tourism on its own alone. Begin to look at all the nice and the very good natural endowment we have as a nation. When we begin to go to Jos, look at the Sherry Hills, go to Abeokuta, look at the
Olumorok.
Thank you. Go to Akure, that's on those states, in Idonre Hills. Go to Ilesha. We have the waterfall and all that. We have Ikogosi in Ekiti. So look at all those. Let's even go back. Let's start from there. Those alone, if they are being well managed, if they are being they begin to look at more innovative ways. They begin to create opportunities for people to come and enjoy themselves, come and relax, leisure activities, and we begin to invite tourists to come to our nation. We'll make money from there alone. That's just tourism alone.
That's just tourism.
So let's go to agriculture. Agriculture is another very, very enormous space where we can begin to create more job opportunities. The last government did a lot around investing in agriculture, but some of the things they invested in was their follow-up. Some of the people, they invested the money. Some of them took those monies, married new wives, didn't invest back into the business they were being given. And unfortunately, so we had insecurity issues. Some of the ones who decided to invest the money, if Fulani herdsmen don't go and attack them, There's Boko Haram disturbing them. There's this and that disturbing them and all that. So I think government should begin to look at the ways we can begin to go back to the drawing board and begin to look at how. See, one of the problems I think we have in Nigeria is the lack of innovation. Some of these things that used to be that are now in their that are now shadow of themselves were once used to have their glory days. So we can begin to look at how can we make a Donrihue to be so attractive that somebody from Australia can come.
Exactly.
How can we make Olumo Rock to be so attractive that somebody from Canada can come? How can we make these waterfalls? Even here in the north, we have even we have one in, I think, a crossrock in Pape or something here in Abuja. We have another one in Suleja. Just look within us. Even that place called the center point of Nigeria something should have been created around there.
In our office.
Yes,
that's the center point here.
Yes, your office. Yes.
It's not that place.
So your office, yes. I didn't want something to loud, but it's your office, yes. Just behind the studio here, we have a place that is the center point of Nigeria. The only thing there is the paint green, white, green. No, all these things are supposed to be something people drive all the way all around town to come there.
But they do. We're not making money though, but they do.
They do, but are we making money? No.
We're not making money.
Are we making money from, if people come, they just come and go. Are there enticing things to make them want to come around?
But the problem that people focus on with Nigeria is that, yes, we do have a lot of potentials.
True.
You've mentioned tourism. Of course, agriculture, you've mentioned all the problems we had.
Yeah.
We still have insecurity, and that insecurity is affecting food shortage. Looking at the statistics too, Nigerian Bureau of Statistics is arguing that they didn't just use, they used the International Labour Organization's yardstick, ILO, to measure, our unemployment rate. Yeah. Now, the question would be, with all of this, we would agree that private sectors or individuals are more employers of labor than the government itself is employing labor. People always argue that, yes, we have potentials, but government policies are stifling these potentials. So manufacturers cannot employ because, they don't have, we're talking of power or electricity, we're talking of the cost of fuel or diesel. We're actually seeing corporations laying off people because they can't meet up with the cost of production. Textile companies all dead. But if you go to Kano used to be a major, I remember the name. Kano used to be a major textile hub. Of course, we have tie and dye at Dire. And I remember in the 80s, if you wanted to make money, you just go sew boo-boos or kaftans with Adire and then send abroad because Europeans were buying a lot. And these are industries that are gradually dying out. So what should the government be doing? What kind of policies should the government be putting in place to make it easier and reduce the burden on them as sole employers, but also make it easier for individuals, people like you, who are CEOs of your own company, to be able to employ more people and then create more, create job ripple effect. So if you employ me, I get to the point where I can employ the next person, and then that's how we spread the wealth.
Thank you. I'm going to say this. If you look at the what we have in Nigeria today, the private sector accounts for about 80% of the employers of labor we have today. If that is so, in itself it might not be so bad, but how do we encourage these private sectors to be able to expand?
That's the question.
Yes. So we're helping them to expand, helping them to be able to employ more people, grow their businesses and all that, right?
Exactly.
If you look at that in itself, government can begin to look at ways they can be giving some of these growing and striving businesses a tax break. Helping them to be able to lessen the burden they pay on tax. Because see, these people are doing something to us. They're doing something for the country because they're employing people. So if you give them a tax break, you're also trying to give them a soft landing. You are creating a favorable and conducive environment for that business to thrive. So that is one of it. Another thing is to, just like you mentioned, right? And I keep saying this thing. One of the major problems we have in Nigeria is we lack innovation. Like I mentioned all the things that were in their glory days, different sectors we have, right? If only some of those things, people used to like them then, Abi, because our eyes was not as open as it is now. But now people are seeing, on social media alone, you are seeing opportunity, you are seeing these Seychelles, you are seeing Maldives, you are seeing Dubai, Then there was nothing like social media. If you don't travel there, you might not be able to see. But now I can tell you what's happening in Dubai because I can tell you what the Burj Khalifa look like because
Yes.
somebody has went gone there and showed us. You understand? But then people have to go all the way to see all these things. So people are more exposed. So they won't appreciate what we have here if if there's no innovation, if we don't improve it. If people don't go there and it's still the same furniture they saw 30 years ago in the 80s that is still there. So we need to begin to improve, innovate and improve some of these things. We need to continue, we need to look for ways also we can encourage the manufacturing industries. Just like you mentioned the Kano. Why can't Kano become a mega manufacturing industry in the textile industry today? Why can't when we go to the east? Why can't government begin to? Why can't you look at? Okay, I was in Kaduna some while back. I think about 3 weeks ago, right? Driving just in Kaduna town, you will see a lot of shut down industries. I counted more than 10. So what has that done? That alone, shutting down that has added to the unemployment rate that we are talking about.
Absolutely.
Imagine that those industries are working. So government can also look at, okay, let us do some fact findings. What made this business stop? How can government step in to help you? Create enabling environment, create support, give people help as they need it. Because when you do that, you have strengthened them. They will employ more people, and they will now, in turn, strengthen the economy. Don't forget this: investment will always command return. If investment can invest in these businesses, there will always be a return. The return will be that they employ our labor, we have a working population, people pay tax, government make money.
Exactly.
So that's it.
However, we've also seen government initiatives. Like you said, some of these monies that were sent to human beings, they got married, they used it for celebration and all of that.
You just couldn't resist that.
They used it to get married and all of that.
But however, new wife.
New
so
wife. Now, some of them already had, so it's misplaced, unfortunately. But how can we strengthen the institution such that when government comes to do this intervention for businesses that drives the economy, it would be such that the loans will be repaid so that it will be revolving.
Okay, good. So, some of them are loans, some of them are grants. If it's a grant, you don't have to pay back. If it's a loan, maybe they give you a soft loan.
I think it's more,
loans
are more.
Let me talk in 2 lines now. So if it's loans, some loans will come at the interest is not as high as or
single figure interest rate.
God bless you, man. So if that happens, people know that they're paying back. These organizations and government agencies should put a system around checkmating these things, making sure that some of these things are deployed to what they are supposed to be deployed into. If it's a grant, what system? See, you don't give somebody money just because he knows about a particular business. There should be some form of mentorship. There should be follow-up. It's not just about, I'm a farmer. So most of these farmers, most of them are not well educated. So they need when you are giving them money, don't only give them money, you can also teach them how to channel the money. Give them a business plan. Give them a budgeting. Let them know that so amount of money is supposed to be used to this and supposed to be used for this, Help them to, just like I said, it's just mentorship. Mentor people, mentor these people. Have this organization. Let them train people. Let them not just train them alone. Let there be some form of upskilling.
Right.
Upskill them so that the knowledge they have. See, what's the name of this? World Economic Forum. They said that skills, not degree, will determine the future of work.
Right.
So we need to begin to look at people who have these skills. Education is not in itself is not wrong. It's very important. We're encouraging that.
But what can you do?
What can you do? What are you bringing? You said something in our last interview. Certificate, not certificate.
Exactly.
So what you know, this sabi, what you sabi. If you sabi something, don't forget that what you sabi. Yes, but there's an innovation going on. What you sabi yesterday, you need to upgrade.
Yes.
If you used to drive a manual car those days, you have not upgraded to learning how to drive an automatic. You'll not be able to drive again. For instance, if you're a driver, let's just use that as an example now. And the only car you know how to drive is a manual car. And now almost every car is turned into automatic. You have lost your job.
You have.
So what am I trying to say? Upskill yourself.
Yes.
Now, I'm also trying to challenge to us as young people. Don't wait for government for everything. YouTube, you can learn things on YouTube. You can look for mentors. People are doing something. Talk to them. So government cannot do everything for us. we also have the responsibility to also do some things for ourselves. Personal development will always be important. To you to succeed as a business person, even as a career person, you need to develop yourself personally. If government gives you an helping hand, also help yourself. Everyone help those who help themselves. So if government wants to help you, help yourself too.
Before we let you go, there's I've been hearing there's conversations around blue skills, and of course now we have a blue economy.
Yeah.
I really don't know all the functions it's supposed to perform, but blue skills seem to be a new terminology now. And then we've had a guest who said there are countless of opportunities in the blue skill sector. Do you agree? Is it something that Nigerian youths also should be looking to explore in terms of job opportunities for them?
Okay, so if you're looking at blue skills and all that, see, not just blue skills, you also have the green skills. Just like
now I know there's green skills. I didn't know there was.
There's green skills.
Do we have that? Okay, go ahead.
Look at the last what the International Youth Day we have. The focus was around green skills, blue skills.
Yes.
If we are going to be honest with ourselves, a lot of young people need to understand that they need to gather information. Equip yourself, invest in yourself for the future of work. This same World Economic Forum says something in one of their research in 2020 or 2021, I think. They said that most of the jobs we have today, our children who are in primary school, by the time they are finishing
You'll be
university,
outdated.
those jobs will be outdated.
Absolutely.
So if we know that, why are we still keeping our old curriculum in our schools? It starts from there. So we need to begin to, all these blue skills and green skills we're talking about, need to be encouraged early. They need to be, our young people in school and all that, they need to start imbibing these things. They need to start understanding where the world is shifting. You know, the reason why people in China and other countries are doing better than we are is because they positioned their young people for the future of work.
Yes.
We are always trying to play a catch-up game. Exactly. And that's the problem we have. There's no how you want to catch up with somebody that have started it 10 years ago. There's no how. Time will catch up with you. You need time to catch up. Right?
True.
So no matter how much speed you have and all that, if you are playing a catch-up game, someone that is the one that invented something, started something, they have mastered it. The secret behind the thing, they have it. So for you to get to where they have gotten in matter of invention and innovation, it will take you some years. And that's why we're always playing catch-up game. It looks like as if we're always behind. Not because we don't have the brain, not because we don't have the resources, not because we don't have people, some people who are willing, but because we are not positioning ourselves for those opportunities. So green skill, blue skills and all that, they are the future of work. ICT, tech, that's the future. That's what we're going to. AI, that's what we're going to. So we need to begin to, in our summer classes, let it leave the 2x and 2y.
Exactly.
Let us begin to look at how students can learn coding early enough. You know, let us look at how students can begin to see opportunities in these green skills, in this blue skill I just talked about. There's a Ministry of Blue and Marine Economy now. Mm-hmm. So let us look at what they're going to come up with. But I think the Ministry of Education has some work to do to let them revise our standard, our curriculum and syllabus. Let's begin to fit into the future of work. So that by the time we get to 2030, when some of these things will start coming alive, you already seen AI becoming something.
But isn't AI threatening people's jobs already that they don't have? Because I know now everybody just wakes up and then they say, okay, I'm an author, because you can just go to AI and it gives you a whole book and then you say an author, you know, and then so many other things. I mean, people's creativity is not challenged like now. Yeah. So isn't also, as much as technology is good and everybody's moving AI, green skills, blue skills, isn't that also worrisome for certain people that they may lose their jobs because they have robotics or all these things taking over their jobs?
So good. This is it. Upskill yourself. Position yourself for the future of work. AI, every innovation, we always have its own challenges. We always have its own, how am I going to say this now? We always have its own adverse effects. Let me put it that way, right? Mm-hmm. So what do we do? Okay, this is happening already. So how do we begin to mitigate it? How do we go out, find our way around all these things? We need to begin to be innovative. And innovation is not just about creating something new. It's about creating something new from the old. So we need to begin to look at all these things. Whatever job we have, even in the medicine line, there's no career opportunity or field or profession today that cannot be innovated upon, that AI cannot be useful. So let our people, aside from what they are learning in the university, the old syllabus are still using in 19something. Aside from that, let us begin to seek for knowledge afar. Let us read online. Let us network. You know, from your phone here, you can be talking with somebody in China. Network aggressively. Unashamedly, don't care about, you know, we are in a we are in a borderless world today. So you don't have to leave Nigeria to go to UK to be okay. You know, so that's it.
Thank you so much, Akin Akinbisola. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for always charging us up.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
I'm
so
already thinking of innovative ideas. Oh, am I not? Am I the one who has a problem?
Thank you.
You know, thank you so much. We've
you.
been talking with Akin Akinbisola. He's a Youth Employ and Development Initiative CEO. Many thanks for being with us
so
on the
much.
program.
Thank you so much. Always an honor to be here.
Thank you. And then that's how we wrap up Monday edition of ASO Morning. Tomorrow is Tuesday, so make it a date with us. I am Ifunanya Yvonne Amafili.
And I am Joy Radimini Asanye. We'll be back tomorrow, so have a wonderful day.